Enter the arena uncut. GOAT, D. Don Juan Banks, and the best MMA analyst on YouTube today, Tommy Razorstein. And we are giving our predictions on the UFC once Ryan Bader to be knocked out on Fox versus Anthony Johnson. UFC on Fox at 18, Johnson versus Bader, January the 30th, Newark, New Jersey. Tommy Razorstein.
What's up, Don? How you doing, man?
Man, I mean, this main event, Ryan Bader 20-4 versus Anthony Johnson 20-5. It's not a lot of hype behind this, and most people say Ryan Bader is going to be knocked out.
Yeah, definitely. Ryan Who Bader. I mean, the guy's so boring, Don.
Yeah.
He's a boring fighter. People don't like Ryan the Who Bader.
Wow.
Yeah, who is he? You know what I mean? He wins a close decision and then talks trash afterwards. Like, dude, you won a close decision. And the last fight against Rashad, I think Rashad beat him. I don't even know why they gave Ryan and Who Bader the win on that one. I just think they're like, we're done with Rashad. So we're just, Rashad's not going to fight anymore. We're done with them for some reason. We're moving on. And they just don't want to deal for Rashad for some reason. I can't explain why Ryan the Who Bader won that
fight. May object your statement. A lot of people may say, well, Ryan Bader won that fight.
Lots do. Lots of people do. I get that all the time. You don't know shit. Well, my prediction is this, and then the prediction comes true. Or, well, you know what? I think Cain Velasquez is ducking, and he's not really hurt. And then we find out, I mean,
that happened.
That happened. I mean, Jesus Christ, was that, the second best thing to admitting that you ducked and you dropped out because you're not ready to fight.
A lot of people were blaming Fabricio Verdum, but you're saying
a lot of people were pissed at Verdum.
It's the opposite of who they should really be pissed off at. Listen,
yeah, I know.
Ryan Bader, just as you stated, Razorstein, decision in every one of his fights. A split this in his last 5 fights. A split decision against Phil Davis. The man has very boring fight. Who is more boring than Ryan Bader right now?
The most boring fighter out there?
Maia. I think he's better.
Yeah, Damian Maia. Damian Maia, definitely. The most boring fighter out there is Damian Maia. Hands down. Demetrius Johnson is kind of boring. But you know what? He just called out the 135 champ. So he's like, because I think he's starting to understand that, you know what? You got to start selling some of your fights. You got to start going after people. You destroyed your division. You took out everyone in your division, so you got to go after other people.
He called out Dominic Cruz?
He was saying something that he could take out the 135. He wanted both belts.
So, okay. Listen. I think Ryan Bader is going to be knocked out. His style does not match up effectively with Anthony Johnson, who will stuff the takedown, who will be looking for a knockout. All he has to do is land one big punch. Bader was knocked out against Machida. He was knocked out against Glover Teixeira TKO. And this guy lost. He lost to John Jones. And guess who he lost to? And you already know. Tito Ortiz, guillotine choke. He choked.
Wow.
And this is a guy who barely, I mean, if people are unhappy with Eddie Alvarez, then Ryan Bader, this man barely wins his fights. That's why they put him against Anthony Johnson, because he's going to be knocked out on Fox. That's the only reason why Bader would make it on Fox, is to be knocked out.
Yep.
Wouldn't you agree?
Yep.
He will be knocked out on Fox.
You don't want no damn Ryan Bader to win a close decision.
Exactly.
You want to see him out cold on the canvas, and you're like,
looking
finally.
at lights, like it's Christmas.
Yep. You don't want no damn Ryan Bader having a 5-round fucking close decision. You know, no, I'm sorry. Like, boring decision, not close decision. I mean, there's close decisions that are entertaining, but he's just straight up boring.
I get on my hands and knees now. Me hope God lay Ryan Bader to sleep.
Yep.
Praise the Lord, my soul to keep. Cross my heart, hope to die.
There were times I didn't like what Machida did. And he ran. I didn't like how Machida ran sometimes, but at least he would knock people out sometimes.
He'd give you something.
He'd give you something. Bader just run like, just avoid in the pocket, swinging.
Look, people are talking about UFC 196. They're talking about Conor McGregor, UFC 197. People are talking about John Jones and Daniel Cormier, who may be fighting soon. No one's talking about Ryan Bader. And you can throw Anthony Johnson in there just because everybody wants. It's because Johnson's with Bader. Bader brings down the entire card. If he doesn't get knocked out on Fox, you don't give a shit.
Don, remember when the 205 division was known as the best division?
Yes.
In the UFC? What happened? I mean, was it John Jones that just cleared it out and just destroyed everyone in the division? And then it just really never came back the way it should? Or do people like Ryan Bader just destroy it?
I think, personally, it's because, all the top is John Jones. John Jones has cleared it out, and the only person to give John Jones a legitimate fight was Daniel Cormier. That's why everyone wants to see Daniel Cormier versus John Jones. So, when you look at Bader, you're looking at a Bader that lost to Tito Ortiz. You're looking at a Bader who's been knocked out by Glover Teixeira, Lyoto Machida. He's not a contender really, or a threat. He's a contender on paper, but everyone knows that he's not a contender in real life. Let's look at the UFC light heavyweight division. You're talking about DC, the champion, by extenuating circumstances. Anthony Johnson, number 2. Gustafsson. See, Gustafsson, he just lost to DC, so he's basically, it's over. You won't be seeing Gustafsson fight again for a world title. Bader, number 4, Teixeira, Ovin St. Preux, Rashad, Mauricio Shogun Rua, Minowa, and Pat Cummings. Pat Cummings is number 10. Pat Cummings.
Wow.
So that shows you where Pat Cummings just lost to Glover Teixeira, by the way. That just shows you where it's just a lot of these guys have fought already, and if you look to match up Daniel Cormier and John Jones again, and after that you're just like, oh man, what will we do next?
I know. It's crazy. What are they going to do next? There's not too many high caliber fighters in the 205 division. I hate to say it.
If I was them, I'll go for DC and Jones to 2nd and 3rd. That gives time for an opponent to arise. let's talk about Biz Razorstein since we talked about the fraud Ryan Bader already, and he will be knocked out. Um, we look at the heavyweight scene, which is you would think, can we even get worse?
Yeah,
Josh
yeah.
Barnett is stepping in the octagon, and
Yeah.
a lot of people are talking about his fight.
Josh Barnett.
Josh Barnett is stepping in the octagon again, and he will be going against Ben Rothwell. And he was saying that if he could beat Ben Rothwell, he'd fight Stipe Miocic. And he said that he deserved a title shot. I don't believe his win over Ben Rothwell will give him a title shot, because he lost in devastating fashion to Travis Brown.
It's amazing. You only need a couple wins to get a title shot in the heavyweight division. People who have 8 wins in a row over a good competition, don't get title shots. Max Holloway doesn't get a title shot. That just shows you the difference. Max Holloway has beaten some really good competition.
Which division? And you're talking about the 145 division.
Yeah. So Max Holloway, at the 145 division is just, dominating people. And he doesn't get a title shot. 8 wins in a row. Wow. It took Cowboy Cerrone 8 wins in a row to get a title shot. Just lost it, but it took him 8 wins in a row. Remember when Matt Brown had a long streak too?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you don't see long streaks in the heavyweight division. So you may see someone string around 2-3 fights in a row. Right, 2-3 fights in a row. It's crazy. You see these records, and it's like, out of the last 6 fights, they lost 4. People who are, in the top 10, and they've lost, 4 fights out of their last 5 fights. And you're like, holy shit. People who have gotten knocked out really bad are still in the top 10. People talking about Mirko Kokov coming back, and you're like, what?
Huh.
Making a run for it. And it's like, it's nuts.
Listen, I got Josh Barnett beating Rothwell. Will you be able to give a prediction on that fight?
Fuck it. Josh Barnett, who cares?
And Johnson versus Bader.
That's easy. Bader's falling asleep in the first round.
Would you bet on the fight?
Yeah, I'd bet on that fight.
Last question I want to ask you, Razorstein, while we have you, Aaron. Can you break down this the statistical breakdown, the technique, the strategy
between Bader and
uh-huh.
Anthony Johnson? Anthony Johnson.
Technique.
It's going to be a stand-up striking fight. I don't see Anthony Johnson going to the ground. I mean, he's going to have to withstand those powerful, powerful punches from Anthony Johnson. Johnson, fought at welterweight at one point. Crazy. Now you see him, and he's a freaking monster. Powerful, powerful striker. Something I've never really seen before. Gain this much weight and get this big and look really good doing it. So I see it, stand-up striking fight. Bader might be able to close the distance and clinch and get a takedown, but I highly doubt it. and it's going to be hard to keep down Bader. Um, Bader's wrestling is good. It's solid, but it's not that good. It's not like Yoel Romero good. It's not like Chris Weidman good or DC good. No, it's good, but it's really not that good. And like it's different between like wrestlers who just are good at takedowns or wrestlers who are good at bottom and top but aren't that good at taking people down. Whereas the UFC, you have to be good at taking people down. You have to be good at taking people down, and takedowns are so important. So
Primarily how Eddie Alvarez got his win.
yeah,
When he stepped in the octagon against Anthony Pettis.
you could be an all-American wrestler and have good takedowns, or you can be one of the best in the world and have okay bottom and okay top, but your takedowns are fucking amazing. You know what I mean? And like the takedowns are so important. You can't survive without having amazing takedowns when you're in an Olympics.
Yes.
You can survive, in college, being a very good wrestler, well-rounded wrestler. But you can't be on the Olympic team unless you have the best of the best takedowns in the world. You can't be an All-American really unless your takedowns, or I mean, I'm sorry, you can maybe slide in being to the top 12 with good takedowns, but not great takedowns. But like Olympic team, you're not going to get in. You have to have like amazing takedowns, wild shit. So that's the only way to get in. And Bader doesn't have, amazing takedowns.
I agree. I just see Bader getting knocked out. For Tommy Razorstein live from South Korea. Goat D Down One Banks. Peace.
Peace out.